Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Always Off Brand. We take Amazon e-commerce and we unfilter it. I don't know. We're working on that. Scotty O here with you solo because it's that time of year, a tradition like none other. It's time for the Q3 Amazon earnings, Scotty O style, where I try to poke a little fun, be fair, try to be fair, and also kind of go through the Q3 earnings report with Andy Jassy. Of course, I call him Andrew, and Brian Osofsky, who I call B.O. We're tight like that. And, we just try to add some levity here and try it from the seller, vendor, from it doesn't matter, actually. Small vendor, small 3P seller, big seller, it doesn't really matter. And let's just try and pick it up here as we start. Now, I'm going to share the window a little bit here. We're on the YouTube, by the way. This is still, haven't done one of these on the YouTube, coming here live from Manhunt Studios. We need a sponsor for Manhunt Studios, actually. That would be built by. So anyway, we can do that later. Remember, we're on the YouTube. Just search. You're here now, so you know how to search, but Always Off Brand. We're still, of course, all the podcasts are available across all platforms. Okay, let's get to the Q3 earning calls, and they're going to start it with Andy. Andrew starts it off by just running the high numbers, and spoiler alert, if you haven't heard, they were huge. All right. They were so big. You know what I'm saying? Profits up, advertising up, sales up, everything up. All right. I know I've ruined it. AWS, the great haunted, the AWS, it's the analysis people, the analyst people love up, Q3. Oh my God. It was great. Biggest Prime Day ever. Oh my God. So let's go listen to Andrew.
Thanks, Dave. Today we're reporting $158.9 billion in revenue, up 11% year over year, excluding the impact from foreign exchange rates. Operating income was $17.4 billion, up 56% year over year, and trailing 12-month free cash flow adjusted for equipment finance leases was $46.1 billion.
Free cash flow. That's what you got in your checking account. Okay. Just want to pause real quick. Andy just started out with a gaudy 11% year over year increase. Now they've been growing at almost 8%, and pre-pandemic e-commerce is growing 15%. Now it's again in the 8-9. I just want to put for context here. I'm going to try and chime in here some bigger numbers and how they're ranking or tracking and trending next to a lot of the compadres here. And also want to give a shout out if you're watching on the YouTube. I'm using Shack News, and they have the Amazon does do a webcast. If you're not familiar on the earnings call, we're going here. So keep it going, Andy. These just big fat numbers, but you know what? He's steady and even.
Up 128% or $25.9 billion year over year. As always, we're focused on making our customers' lives better and easier and thinking long-term with respect to how we can keep helping customers and build a successful business that outlasts all of us. In our stores business, we saw sales growth of 9% year over year in the North America segment and 12% year over year in the international segment. Our team continues to focus on the inputs that matter most to customers. Really broad selection.
That's also a big deal. So North America up, but international. I mean, I don't hear any buzz about international. International's killing the game at 12%. Are you kidding me? And you're going to hear their net operating margin. They're actually becoming more profitable. They're figuring out the sauce. Now, they don't break it down as far as per country code, but I think that's interesting. 12%. That used to be the Achilles heel, is they would grow in North America, but they were spending so much money in international. The growth wasn't there, number one, year over year. It wasn't a big enough number. It's getting there. Still, UK, Germany, now really the pan-EU. I mean, there's some things, Spain, but that's not part of this call. But anyway, I think the 12% growth is a call out, all right? It's a call out. No, I don't hear anybody talking about it. I read all the LinkedIn things, everybody. And I don't hear some 12% on the international. I think that's big. Here we go.
Low prices, fast and free delivery.
Low prices, fast, free delivery. Yeah, Andy. We get it, man. It's just, good Lord. Come on now. Get to it.
Range of compelling Prime member benefits, including our recent additions of unlimited grocery delivery from Whole Foods Market, Amazon Fresh, and local third-party grocery partners for $9.99 a month, and fuel savings of 10 cents a gallon at BP, Amoco, and AMPM.
Hold the horses. You're getting into the gas game, Andy? Oh, my. 10% off on all of those? Andrew, way to go. Getting in the gas game. Low margin business, but it feeds it. It feeds it. That's actually, I've already listened to this once, but I read it, and that's probably the most exciting thing. I mean, if you don't listen any farther, that's probably it. But gas, are they going to get into chargers? Are they going to give you a little deal on chargers maybe lately? I don't know, but that's a big new one. The gas, we know about the free delivery and the Prime members for the grocery. They're working that stuff out as well. But God, they're getting into the gas game. That's crazy.
Stations in the U.S. At a time when consumers are being careful about how much they spend, we're continuing to lower prices and ship even more quickly, and we can see this resonating with customers as our unit growth continues to be strong and outpace even our revenue growth. In the last few months, we've hosted our largest and most successful Prime Day and Prime Big Deal Days ever and helped customers save over $5 billion across more than 50 million deals.
You helped them save $5 billion? Oh, Andy, you're a comedian. All right. Try the veal. Tip your wait staff. You helped them save $5 billion? No, I think all the sellers and the vendors helped them save $5 billion. That's what happened there. Prime Day was, of course, the biggest. I mean, they could literally, I think it's safe. They could just put that in stone, etch it in stone, because every single Prime Day since 2015, I believe, it's the biggest one ever. It's the biggest one ever. You can't get bigger than the biggest one, can you? But I mean, let's just be clear, okay? You guys didn't save the customer $5 billion. Your vendors did, and your sellers did. Now, you did in the fact that you have great margin because you own all the Kindles and all the devices that you were selling. But let's just, I gotta poke fun there. Gotta poke some fun. Maybe I'll meet you halfway. We jointly saved $5 billion. All right, go ahead.
And for the second year in a row, we are on track to deliver at our fastest speeds ever for Prime members globally. We also continue to focus on lowering our cost to serve and are pursuing several initiatives that we believe will have meaningful long-term impact in this area.
Okay, I'm starting again. I'm stopping again. Excuse me, because this cost to serve business. He does this This is becoming a trend. Every earnings call since I've been doing this fun little activity is been this cost to serve. It's crazy to me because it's not crazy to me in the sense that I just want to go to PR and I want to go PR. Maybe we should think of some other terms. I know you're looking at that. Sorry, just let me get back to you here. Okay, this cost to serve thing. Okay, this has got to stop. But I'm a solutions kind of person. I'm a solution guy. So what I've done is I think a different way to say cost to serve. We should ask ChatGPT, don't you think? I think, yeah. Why not? Let's do it. Let's see what it comes up with. Here's some alternatives. Okay, service cost, operational cost, cost of delivery, customer service expense, customer engagement cost, fulfillment cost. This is basically everything he was trying to say but didn't say. How about we're creating better value for the customer, better customer value. God, ChatGPT kind of hosed me on that, to be honest. Not impressed. So I just this cost to serve thing is becoming just to me again critical commentary here. PR, we can do better. This whole cost to serve, the stockholders love it. Yes, I'm sure they love the cost to serve because they're charging everybody else more money for them to lower their cost. That's really what's happening. Again, tip the cap. Tip the flipping cap. Brilliant, and the stockholders love it. But I mean, let's just be real here. I mean, come on now. Okay, let's go back here. Ooh, I'm all over the place. All right, I had the cost to serve. By the way, we're literally not even like 5 minutes in, and he's already laying the cost to serve thing.
First, we continue to believe there are more gains on top of what we've captured thus far in outbound regionalization and getting more items closer to end consumers. As such, we're in the process of significantly changing the way we inbound items into our fulfillment network and subsequently spread them to our regional fulfillment nodes.
Is this like, did he just copy and paste the Q2 earnings call? I just a question here. I mean, doesn't it, it's literally verbatim, which shout out the PR team, investment team. They're just like, yeah, I mean, he's going to say the same shit. I mean, let's just copy and paste.
In the last few months, we've made hundreds of changes to our U.S. inbound network and opened more than 15 inbound buildings. While it's still relatively early in this re-architecture, we've already improved our ability to spread inventory across our fulfillment centers by 25% year over year, allowing us to have more of the requisite items in fulfillment centers closest to the customer so we can compile shipments and ship to customers even more quickly. As we scale and optimize this new design, we expect these changes will further improve inventory placement, offer faster delivery times, save transportation costs, and enable us to increase units shipped per box.
Now, I got issues, Andrew. I got issues with this statement. You've added supply. All I hear, there was an article I posted the other day about how capacity constraints on the West Coast. I got all of a sudden in a lot of the seller accounts, they went from your capacity manager, which hasn't been a thing since COVID. All of a sudden it went down like 30%, sometimes 40% as far as your cubic inches on your large standard. That's the majority of packages that have the shipping tier for large standard, right? It went from September and we hit October 1st. It went down like 30%. Now you're bitching and moaning. Everybody's like, oh, I hear all the time. Oh, we're out of room. We're out of space. We're out of room. Are you? You just told me you've gone to regional, so you're smarter. You opened up 15 new FCs or what have you. I'm confused. Okay. That's where I'm going to land on this. It's like, I hear one thing from someplace and I hear another from other. I don't know what to believe. I got some clients that are moving product in still here as I record this on November 4th. They're moving stuff in, they're flowing it and receiving it. They got other people that can't get even, it's just sitting in reserve for the end of time. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say, Andrew. I take a little pause to that statement because depending on the category, right? I don't know that you're moving goods. I don't know that it's slapping like you think.
Second, we continue to roll out same-day delivery facilities, which is not only the fastest way to get products to customers, but also one of our lowest cost ways to deliver. Over 40 million customers this past quarter have had their orders delivered for free with same-day delivery, an increase of more than 25% year over year.
God, they love that, don't they? Let me get you whatever you want, when you want it, as fast as you want it. God, they love that. I don't understand how that's lowering the cost to serve, though. I wasn't a math major and I went to Arizona State, so hold the laughter. But I mean, I don't understand. So it's costing them less to get it to us faster?
And third, we continue to innovate in robotics to speed delivery, lower cost to serve, and further improve safety in our fulfillment network. We recently launched our 12th generation fulfillment center design, with the first building launching in Shreveport, Louisiana. This is the first facility that incorporates our newest robotics inventions that simplify stowing, picking, packing, and shipping processes.
Now, this I buy. Okay. They employ 1.3 million people in the U.S. They're going to hire 250,000 here for the holidays, an additional 250. But this makes sense. Down in Shreveport, Louisiana, you got to get me down there. That I'd like to see, actually. And I believe this. They are going to robot the sheboygan out of everything.
Thus far, this new design reduces fulfillment processing time by up to 25%, increases the number of items we can offer for same-day or next-day delivery, and is expected to drive a 25% improvement in our cost to serve during peak within this next-generation facility. Though we believe we have more expansive automation and robotics than other retail peers, it's still early days in how much automation we expect in our fulfillment network. In advertising...
Oh, he holds that back. Nice job. That's a great job by the PR team. Hey, we're going to robot the bejesus out of this thing, but whoa. Don't think that we're taking people's jobs. Don't think that. We don't know yet. We
remain pleased with our progress, generating $14.3 billion of revenue in the quarter, 18.8% year-over-year growth. Our expansive reach ability to surface relevant offers to our customers, opportunity to engage customers from the top of the funnel to point of purchase, and leading capabilities around measuring outcomes at every touch point provide all types of brands with full funnel advertising at scale.
So he almost slipped this by me. He went right on from Louisiana, Shreveport, robots to advertising. Okay. 18%, ladies and gentlemen, 18%. There's been some great posts on this. Okay. Their run rate here is they're going to get to 50. A lot of people think they're going to hit about $54 billion in the year 2024. Okay. Remember, this was in 2012, this was a nothing burger. Okay. That's not that long to grow and stand up a $50 billion business. Now, I contend, I'll probably be wrong, but if you look at the 18%, it's flattening a little bit, but their inventory is about to go crazy. Plus the confluence of all the other media spends going from linear to digital and now even digital to Amazon, because they can do all this this display ads. They've got over the next 3 years, you're going to have, and I did a whole episode on this on Always Off Brand, this not only the live sports, they're going to have so much inventory across all digital platforms, not only Prime Video, but this is a boondoggle. They're going to grow massively. Just to keep this in perspective of the 18% growth year over year, Facebook was up again. Their Q3 Meta, it was up I think 17% year over year Q3. Google, YouTube in particular is going to be a $50 billion advertising business. Now, I mean, Meta is at like 37, 38. Google overall is at 100 and something. So this is going to just drive. And as I say, every single time, it is the most profitable part of the business is advertising.
With sponsored products, we're seeing meaningful growth on a very large base, and we see further opportunity in driving even better performance for advertisers by further improving the relevancy of the ads we show and by providing additional optimization controls.
Oh, Andrew. How about we are spring cleaning on ways to put ads. Okay. We are digging through drawers we haven't seen. Now they got Rufus, the AI shopping friend, the personal shopper. You can do ads on that. I mean, they are looking around the house. It's like professional baseball now. You see, if anybody, like, there's advertising. It's a NASCAR driver, right? They're going to put labels and advertising every flipping where they can possibly find it, because this is the gold rush. So I love, we're trying to find a way to optimize everybody. And yeah, you're going to see ads. You think ads are kind of mucking it up now? You haven't seen nothing yet.
At the same time, some of our newer offerings are in their very early days. We're just entering our first broadcast season for Prime Video advertising, following a very strong showing at Upfronts. And we're continuing to support brands of all sizes with our generative AI-powered creative tools across display, video, and audio, including our video generator that uses a single product image to curate custom AI-generated videos.
I did see that, and that's badass. I saw the one they did at, I think it was Unboxed, their big advertising. That's badass. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that's some cool shit. Okay. I mean, for the big brands, not so much. I mean, not for them. They have high creative, high production quality. They can do all these things. But for the masses, so the belly, of the big third party market, this is and down. This is going to be cool.
While we're generating a lot of advertising revenue today, there remains considerable upside.
Oh, well.
AWS grew 19.
Oh, AWS. Let's talk AWS. Come on, Andy. Everybody loves this. This is a crowd favorite. This is a fan favorite. AWS in the bedrock. I'm ready for the bedrock.
0.1% year over year, and now stands at a $110 billion annualized run rate.
110. He loves this. He loves the run rate. How come he doesn't say the run rate for the advertising business? How come he doesn't say the run rate for the stores this is where he came from. I get it, Andrew. I understand. This is what happens. But $110 billion, everyone thought AWS was flattening out. No.
We've seen significant reacceleration of AWS growth for the last 4 quarters. With the broadest functionality, the strongest security and operational performance, and the deepest partner community, AWS continues to be customers' partner of choice. There are signs of this in every part of AWS's business. We see more enterprises growing their footprint in the cloud, evidenced in part by recent customer deals with the ANZ Banking Group, Booking.com, Capital One, Fast Retailing, Itaú Unibanco,
Oh, that was tough. Ito Utabanco. That was a tough one, Andy. Way to get through it, buddy. Um, it, it hits me as someone who's been around for 100 years in this thing. The fact that they're naming other retailers, they have retail customers here on AWS. We all know Netflix is big, and obviously the government's big. But his plan here with AWS, which he's talked about, is like on-premise versus cloud. And now, there was kind of ebbs and flow of on-premise versus cloud. But yeah, AWS, I mean, I don't see that stopping. I mean, everybody's AWS. So Azure, which is Microsoft, that showed big growth. Google showed big growth in their cloud storage. So the cloud storage, I mean, it's all in the cloud, baby. The race to the cloud is legit, yo. Okay, like always, I'm going to skip a bunch of stuff because it's so fascinating, right? And it makes sense from where he came from. But he spends like maybe 2.5 to 3 minutes on stores, maybe 2.5, 3 minutes on advertising. He spends like 10 minutes on AWS. Everything's great. Don't worry. Everything's great. The run rate's ginormous. It's growing. It's the fastest growing. It's growing faster than when AWS was there. The Bedrock's good. Yabba Dabba Doo's good. They got Trinium things. They got CPU things going. They're one of actually NVIDIA's biggest vendor, supplier, and partners. They rely on AWS. And then again, they're killing the AI game. Okay, they're just absolutely killing it, and it continues. And it's just a baby. It's a teeny tiny baby. The last thing he mentioned that I'm going to cut through, I'm just summarizing for you, is the Kindle. They're super excited about the Kindle because they got new Kindles out. Okay, they got new Kindles. And they got a new Kindle AI out, and he let it go that 20 billion monthly 20 billion pages are read on Kindle. They got a color one, they got a pocket size one, they got the AI. Then he tied that in, of course, to the Rufus, which is getting better. Actually, I hate to admit this, but like it's been 2 months or something, and it's actually getting better. That's the shopper, which I told you they're going to sell advertising on, or they are already. And then secondly is Amelia. Amelia is the back end for Seller Central for sellers. The AI, I haven't really seen that happen, but they're working on that. So yes, AI, blah blah blah. It's good. I'm not disparaging it. It's good. But here's where I want to pick it up next, because he said we're excited about a lot of things. Okay, we're excited about a lot of things. But here's something we're real excited about. Okay, and this is if anybody's scared that they already have too much power. Excuse me, I'm belching, I'm grepsing here, my spindrift. If anybody's worried they are in too many things, which you should be, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the great AOB episode with Dana Mattioli, the Everything War. Anywho, pharmacy. They've been teasing this, they've been dabbling this, they've been trying to figure out. But let me tell you, this is they're going hard, and he wanted to tell you about it.
the progress we're making in improving customers' pharmacy experience. Brick and mortar pharmacies account for just over 90% of prescriptions dispensed in the U.S., but require customers to make trips to forlorn physical venues with much of the selection behind locked shelves, wait in lines for meds, and only find out about pricing at the point of purchase.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. It's not great. Got to tell you, it's not great. The system's not great. I love my pharmacist at my little local Safeway. I love her. Shout out Jen and the gang. But I mean, it's not great. It's just a pain in the ass.
The largest mail order pharmacies offer deliver in 5 to 10 business days. We think customers deserve better. Today, we can deliver to 95% of first-time Amazon pharmacy customers in the U.S. within 2 business days, and to 20% of U.S. Prime members within 24 hours. Next year, we plan to launch operations in 20 new cities, so nearly half the U.S. will have the ability to have their medications delivered to their door within hours.
Yeah, that should scare the living daylights out of some people, because guess what, kids? You think they're just going to do that and not create ad space and ad inventory and Prime Video stuff and promote all their own stuff. Oh boy.
We believe making it easier for customers to get their medications will improve medication adherence, which we know can directly improve health outcomes. Across Amazon, we have a lot coming in the next few months. We eagerly look forward to sharing these with customers, and a big thank you to my Amazon teammates around the world for all their hard work. And with that, I'll turn it over to Brian for a financial update.
I tell you, AJ, way to go, buddy. It was concise. Again, that's I don't even know how long that was. That was probably around 16 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm telling you, I saved you about 10 to 12 minutes of it, talking about every layer of AWS. You can go back, look it on the interwebs. But let's get to my boy, Brian Osolfsky, BO in the house. What's up, Brian?
Thanks, Andy. Let's start with our top-line financial results.
Let's do it.
Worldwide revenue was $158.9 billion, an 11% increase year over year, excluding a 20 basis point unfavorable impact of foreign exchange.
11%. It's just, what are we doing? I mean, you see a pie chart if you're watching on YouTube. The pie, they're just eating up more of the pie.
As a reminder, our Q3 guidance had anticipated a larger unfavorable impact of approximately 90 basis points. Worldwide operating income increased 56% year over year to $17.4 billion.
56% in operating income, in a profit. Dude, good night. And we're all paying for it.
Our highest quarterly operating income ever, and was $2.4 billion.
Need I remind you, that's the second earnings point report that he said the highest net operating income ever. Ever. That's a two-time ever. That's a back-to-back ever.
Shifting to profitability, our North America and international segments each delivered their seventh consecutive quarter of year-over-year operating margin improvement. North America segment operating income was $5.7 billion, an increase of $1.4 billion year over year. North America operating margin was 5.9%, up 100 basis points year over year. In the third quarter, we continued to make progress in improving our fulfillment network cost structure.
Okay, I'm just going to pause here. They had the first question, Doug from JP Morgan. He asked a CapEx question basically about AWS. Brian went on and told blah, blah, 200 basis points. Blah, blah, blah. And then Andrew came in with the CapEx. They were just saying, okay, so you just, what I don't know, they're going to spend about 75 bill in 24. And the question was, are you going to spend the same or more? And Andrew pipes in and he says, you know what? We're going to spend more. Okay. We're going to spend more than 75 billion. And the most of that we're going to spend on is AWS. Cause I know you people, that's all you care about and want to hear about is AWS. So it's the generative AI and it's the servers and all the engineering and all the technology they have to do because that's growing at such a high pace and rapid rate. They want to service that. And so that's what that. We're going to skip to a next question because I that one wasn't, for me, not as awesome. Okay, we're going to Ross from Barclays. Let's bring it, Ross. Bring it.
Please proceed with your question.
Andy, if I could push on that last answer, you talk about how AI is about the same size but growing way faster than early AWS. And if we look back, at the market in like the early 2010s, it was hyper competitive on pricing. Your margins were, below 15%, I believe, back then. And it seems like a lot of that is what's going on right now in AI with these new AI data centers where you got competitive pricing and suboptimal utilization just in the whole industry. So as that revenue line grows from where it is today to tens of billions of dollars in coming years, how does that margin come on from the AI data centers versus your existing kind of 30+% margin at AWS? Any thoughts on how quickly you can close the gap and how that looks on the new AI workloads versus maybe this mid-30s that the core business is running at. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So some quick context, Ross. I think one of the least understood parts about AWS over time is that it is a massive logistics challenge. If you think about, we have 35 or so regions around the world, which is an area of the world where we have multiple data centers, and then probably about 130 availability zones or data centers. And then we have thousands of SKUs we have to land in all those facilities.
This is unbelievable to me, and I'm going to cut in here because I don't really care about the margin on AWS. That's just for me, and I don't know if you do, and I apologize. But it's just unbelievable, Ross. Did you not listen to the Q2 Amazon? He says the same thing every time. These guys come on. Don't they vet these guys? I mean, he asked about the operating margin. And then so Andy has to tell the entire story of how complex and a logistical nightmare it is to run an AWS business. I mean, is that just me? I read these all the time. Even before I started doing these episodes, I read them, and these analysts, God bless them. Again, I don't know what they do, and they're experts at what they do, but they ask the same goddamn question every time. Come on, man.
And if you land too little of them, you end up with shortages, which end up in outages for customers. So most don't end up with too little, they end up with too much. And if you end up with too much, the economics are woefully inefficient.
He literally said the exact same thing, Q2 earnings. Like literally said the exact same thing. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
And I think you can see from our economics that we've done a pretty good job over time at managing those types of logistics.
Nice job, Andy. Way to flex, Andrew. Way to flex a little bit, AJ. Come on. You got to ask better questions. And they're so obsessed with the AWS. I understand why. It's a big business. But when you want to know, like a business that started, 10 years ago is now 50 billion, how the advertising business is? When you want to know how the units and the complete flip from retail owned vendor central to this third party marketplace, now 63% of the units. Wouldn't you want to know that? God, they kill this.
Logistics and capacity. And it's meant that we've had to develop very sophisticated models.
I can't take it.
In anticipating
and this
how much capacity.
This is for you, Andy. I'm going to skip ahead because I can't. It's the same. Just go listen to the Q2 earnings and you'll hear the exact same question with the exact same answer. God, the last thing Andy had to say was, don't worry. The margins are going to be very healthy in the AI generative space. That's the last thing. We're going to this next question. It better be good. Questions this time has been a little underwhelming. I'm not going to lie.
Please proceed with your question.
Thanks for taking the question. Maybe a two-parter if I can. Looking at the results in the commerce business, there's a clear sort of pattern emerging with respect to ASPs versus unit growth. Can you talk a little bit about
average sale price versus unit growth? Okay.
What you're seeing in terms of consumer behavior and the propensity to be receptive to either lower ASP items or discounts among consumer behavior. And then the second part would be, can you talk a little bit about some of the strategic initiatives you're building for the long term around capitalizing on lower ASP items and the potential shift to more consumables in the base of consumption habits on the platform? Thanks so much.
See, that's a pretty good question. Those are pretty good questions because what he's driving to is, if you're not aware, Amazon basically, to fight off Temu, which is killing it, they opened up this whole China direct business where they're going to ship directly from China to the consumer in the United States. And that's smart. That's a good way to ask. Like, basically, are you doing that? Are you going to go full on that? Is that a big initiative? Are you going hard on that? Are you going to spend a bunch of money to drive that business? God, finally, we get a good one.
Yeah. Hi, Eric. Thank you for your question. Yeah, you're right. Q3 unit volume was strong at 12% worldwide. It's pretty similar in North America versus international. And the consumer factors, we're seeing a continuation of many of the things we've discussed over the last few quarters. Customers looking for deals and are price conscious.
I'm going to repeat it just like you did, Brian. they're always price conscious because we've trained them to be price conscious, and you basically force everyone to drive prices down. That's the lower cost to serve is not Amazon. It's freaking the sellers and the vendors.
This matches up well with our Prime events where which were well received and saved billions of dollars for our Prime members. It also led to paid Prime member growth accelerating the quarter, which is hugely impactful for us. A lot of our best offers and deliveries are tuned to Prime membership, and it's the best deal in retail. So with all the benefits you get for the subscription price, so those are all positive signs. When you look at the split between revenue growth and unit growth, you do see some impact of the lower ASP products that we're selling, as well as some of the trade down that consumers are doing. But we take that as a real positive. Seeing the growth in everyday essential categories, which are really predicated on speed. So you have to have fast delivery to be able to sell those products to customers. And when you do, it results in a stickier consumer relationship, higher orders, building larger baskets, which help our ship economics, and repeat orders are stronger. So those are all positive signs, and we'll take any short-term degradation in ASP because what we're focused on primarily is free cash flow here, and we see the ability to unlock whole new elements of the consumer spend.
Wow, there's a lot there, Brian. Props to you, first of all. Handled that, deflected well, turned it back into your, we could be getting lower average sale price. We could be getting, but we're getting more shit. Like they're buying, the dollar amount is low, but we're getting to buy more stuff at one time. And so he weaved in a lot of there. Nicely, well played, sir. Well played. The bottom line is they got to be everything to everybody. That's their whole deal. And the consumable space, I don't know if he's going to answer that.
I'll just add, Eric, on the lower ASP.
Oh, this is Andrew.
Strategy. There's an expression that we've used a lot of times over the years that it's easy to lower prices, but it's much harder to be able to afford to lower prices.
Oh, that is a saying? I mean, I've been around 18 years. I don't remember that saying. I don't know that I've ever heard that saying. Did I miss something? I sometimes don't pay attention. That is unbelievable. Yeah. You drive down prices, you do sales, Prime Day, 30% off, 20% off is boring and doesn't even move the meter. But basically you're figuring out ways, well, if it's a lower ASP, but I'm doing more units, at the end of the day, the ring is better. The ring at the end, at the cash wrap is better, Andy.
And the same thing is probably true about lower ASP items. It's pretty easy to choose to supply them, but it's much harder to be able to afford to economically supply them. And so one of the reasons that we have been so maniacal about cost to serve over the last few years is that as we're able to take our cost to serve down, it just opens up the aperture for more items, particularly lower ASP items.
Ooh, opens the aperture. That's a good business buzzword right there. I want to see that. I want to hear that in webinars, people. It just opens the aperture. All right? Get the camera out. Get the old school Kodak film out. Open that aperture.
And our final question comes from the line of Justin Post with Bank of America. Please proceed with your question.
Great. Thank you. Maybe a couple questions.
Come on, Justin. I believe in you, Justin. Let's go, buddy.
Just on the cloud, are you at all capacity constrained? And
oh, my God. Justin, I had so much hope.
Will the new Trainium or NVIDIA chips, maybe even drive sales growth faster?
What's part two, man? What's part two? Because I'm cutting part one.
Sure. And then secondly, Andy, I know there's been some competition from some of the more traditional retailers growing quickly online. Maybe talk about
who? What traditional retailers growing fast online? I mean, they're all growing online. They're just moving. You're talking about Walmart? Yeah, they're growing at 22% year over year, almost quarter over quarter on a very small number. They're moving a lot of that from their retail brick and mortar to online. Traditional retailers, he's got to be talking about Walmart. That would have been some onions, though, to mention Walmart. That would have been, well, they would have cut that out.
about maybe the advantages that Amazon has with the fulfillment center distribution versus store distribution. Any thoughts on that? Thank you.
Well, on cloud, Justin, what I would tell you is that
I don't care. He took a shot there. That was a shot, okay? That was a shot about Walmart on an earnings call for Amazon. That's some kuyans. That's some chutzpah.
Retail side, I'd start by just saying that we've always believed that competition is very positive and very healthy. It's good for consumers. It's good for businesses. It's actually great for innovation. And if you look at the retail space,
Are you listening, Lena Khan? Are you listening, Department of Justice, the FTC? Are you listening to Andrew? Sorry, I couldn't help it.
So, it's a very, very large market segment. I mean, we have a pretty big retail business, and yet we're only about 1% of the market segment share of the worldwide global retail.
Well done, sir.
Market segment. And still about 80 to 85% of that market segment share lives in physical stores. And so if you believe that equation is going to flip in the next 10 to 20 years, which we do, there's just a lot of opportunity, not just for us, but for several players. There won't be only one successful player. I do think that we have some elements of our customer experience that are really unusual and unlike others. I think we have meaningfully broader selection than almost all the players that you probably have seen and heard of. We have low prices with very significant deals that we go work with our third-party selling partners around, key holiday shopping occasions.
Okay, that's a great one. Okay, I mean, it was repetitive. I don't know. They talked about some other things. We got to come up with a cost to serve. We got something different than that. That's getting stale. Is it just me? That's stale. Like, you got to get something new, kids. I don't know. Great quarter. Phenomenal. Shout out to the analysts. There were a couple good questions that were different than were just AWS. So nicely played there. Well done. I thought Andrew did a great job again. BO, you're the man. Way to spin zone some stuff. Get it back in line. And I hope you've enjoyed this Q3 Amazon earnings special. Scotty O, always off brand, because people matter. And you've been listening to Always Off Brand. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey there, this is Haley from Quickfire, and they want me to read this so you know what this podcast is part of and how to find out more if you want. Always Off Brand is a production of Quickfire LLC and a part of the Learn and Laugh series on the Quickfire Podcast Network. For more information, go to quickfirenow.com. Have a good one, and thanks for listening.